Hey Aquarius, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome to the channel. First cards that we have out, I'm seeing Knight of Wands and I'm also seeing King of Wands. Somebody may be coming to you for something. Okay, we got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm looking at Capricorn, I'm looking at Leo. So we have King of Wands, we have Knight of Wands, we have the Devil, the Ace of Cups, Strength, and also the Ace of Wands. I'm seeing that there's an opportunity that's coming to you. There may be something difficult or challenging about this. It feels like more than anything, this is about maintaining balance, as like common themes that I'm seeing here. Knight of Wands, something difficult with that energy can be trying to like temper and be like, when is it a good time for me to do this versus am I just being impulsive right now? Having the Devil here too can also be like a reflection of that as well. Like, am I overdoing something? Am I underdoing something? What am I being motivated by? Like that type of thing. And then also Strength is about sort of like working with those aspects of yourself as well, which can be like your willpower versus like your humanity even. You can feel struggling through something a little bit or feeling like there's a bit of a challenge of like, it would be easier to go this way, but I don't know if that's the best thing for me to be doing. Or this is feeling challenging, but I know that I need to do this thing, like that sort of. It feels too like something is coming through that may be feeling tempting to you in some way, and it's important for you to connect with self rather than to connect with something. Like rather than to plug into something that may be easier to plug into, but then you're going to feel like a sense of disconnection because of that. And I'm seeing Strength and I'm seeing Ace of Wands here. So this can be like an opportunity where you really want to be in control of what's happening here rather than you being run by whatever force this is that you're sort of like working with right now. I'm seeing a lot of fire energy, which can be, Wands have to do with like inspiration, motivation, passion, being bold, taking action, but it's also about self-control too. So it's about you having the final say in like what happens and what you do and what you're responding to, like that type of thing, how that's going to impact you. I'm seeing a lot of orange, I'm seeing a lot of red, I'm seeing a lot of yellow. This seems like it's connected with the lower chakras. Okay. There's a very particular way that you want to do things here. We're going to say that you are the King of Wands within this scenario. Seeing you be connected with the Hierophant, this means that you have a position to uphold and maintain, whether this be in your personal life, in your public life, in a relationship, whatever this is, having you be connected with the Hierophant, it shows you in some way being in a position of power here, that there's like a prominent placement that you have, and having the Hierophant be involved, it's like you may have a commitment to honor, you may have a code to honor, you may have something where you're like, this is what I stand for and this is what makes sense to me and this is what I believe in, and so I want to show up in this way. Having Knight of Wands can have something coming through that may like pull you away from that. And this can also be like your own impulses being elicited in some way or being tugged on. Because you could even be plotting something out and planning something out. And with you starting as the King of Wands here, there's a sense of you being methodical, of you like knowing when something is needed, knowing when action is needed, knowing when to do something, as well as knowing when not to do something. And the Hierophant feels like there may be even more pressure for you to show up in a particular way, that like there's something important about this role that you're playing, and you have certain like codes or rules that you're doing this by that are influencing the way that you take action. So it can be like it's important for me to show up in this way, and so I don't want to get pulled over by my impulses and then be running with that when I want to maintain and uphold this thing over here. So there's like a certain way that you want to be doing things, but I'm seeing, so you're in this position, right, where you get to decide whether or not you take action and also how you do it. It looks like the part of you that maybe feels, you can sometimes feel like there's less restraint within this part of you. It's kind of like, it feels almost like an inner child, but I'm seeing it be more so connected with like how you escape, or something that's like motivated by fear, because we have the Devil here. So this can be something where there's like this part of you that's like, I want to do something right now that's going to feel good, and then this other part of you that's like, this is not the way that we're going to do it. But it can be something that feels tempting because you have the Devil here. So it's like, this could feel really fun in a moment, or relieving in a moment, or I could escape in a moment, or whatever it is. But I know long term that this isn't something good for me, that I want to be involving myself in. And I feel like you can sort of like transcend this and move over to the Ace of Cups, which would be choosing to connect rather than choosing to connect to yourself and your feelings and like what is real to you, versus like the illusion of whatever the Devil is, the thing that actually takes you away from your feelings, the thing that may like numb you from your feelings and from your connection. And I'm seeing this be like, you have a choice of what you do with this opportunity, like which way do you want to go with it. Having the Hierophant here and also having Knight of Swords here, you can be looking at this and be like, there is a certain way that I want to show up, and there's another way that I don't want to show up, and I feel like these two aspects of my energy are sort of working on something together. But I'm seeing what's motivating this like higher part of yourself, like the more in touch, maybe more like mature, developed part of yourself, or the more evolved even part of yourself is like, I'm thinking about my long-term happiness here. And how can you have the Ten of Cups, which is connected with you being connected, if you're doing something that's going to have you escaping from that, you know, or like taking you away from that with the Devil? Are you doing something out of like avoidance or something with the Devil? Because the Devil is like, you can escape in this way. Like, don't you want to escape? But I'm seeing there be a choice of like, I'm actually gonna connect instead. I'm going to choose the Ace of Cups over the Devil. But to have the Devil and to have Knight of Wands, this is something that it may be like, you may really impulsively feel pulled in this direction. But it kind of feels like that part of yourself like tapping you on the shoulder and being like, hey, this thing is an option over here, but you ultimately get the final say on how you want to do this. And I feel like because of your standards and like, again, like something that you want to like maintain and uphold. That's what I'm getting really strongly with King of Wands and the Hierophant. It's like there's this standard that I'm trying to act by, that I want to be motivated by. These rules that I'm creating for myself, or me putting my faith in something that feels bigger, that feels more important to me. So this can be like a philosophical code even that you're standing by, or like some type of commitment that you want to honor here, even though you have something tempting within the environment coming through. And so you may be like reinforcing this. I'm also hearing something about stamina, but it feels like about willpower more than anything. You may be reinforcing this through further introspection and reflection on your values, but it feels like your values from like a philosophical standpoint, or like even from a spiritual standpoint, because this is like your personal code. So it starts there before it connects with anything else. So it's like, how do you want to show up? How do you want to be handling yourself? And you also have developed this, like you've connected with this because you know that that's ultimately linked with you feeling connected and safe and happy and feeling like that's something that you can maintain, rather than something that like comes and goes more frequently than it needs to. So yeah, you could have had something tempting coming up in the environment and been like, is that actually going to make me happy? And you're like, no, it would be like very, very momentary the way that this would work, and then it would feel like it sort of fizzled out, and then you'd be left feeling like disconnected in some way. That's not to say that it's not tempting, it still is, but it's not to all of you. It's just like this particular part of you. Oh, this is something that you've been working on. It feels like impulse control, but like in a deep way. Because having the devil and having 8 of Pentacles here, it's like this is not your first rodeo. This is probably something that you've been dealing with for a long time. Or energetically, it would feel like you've been dealing with this for a long time, of like you're seasoned in some way with the way that you like work with this aspect of yourself. So the devil is going to be anything. It can be different for all of us. The devil is going to be something that feels tempting, that may feel good in a moment, where you're like, I'm trying to like fill in that space, or I'm trying to like mend this thing that I perceive as being broken. It's like that type of stuff where like we use the devil sort of to like medicate in some way, whether that be something like physically or energetically or mentally, whatever this is for us. Lots of different ways that we can experience this, but it's something that like doesn't end up solving the deeper thing that's going on here. And it also is something that like takes you away from sort of like connecting and feeling your way through it. And so you end up feeling even more like disconnected from yourself, because there's like this separation that this encourages. And this is something too that at this point, like, you know better, definitely. Like, you know that this is not the way to go. And so that's why I'm seeing this is something that you've been working on for a long time, because you know that it's something that ends up like trapping you rather than liberating you. That's how you know what this is. It's something that you get sucked into the cycle and you're like, how do I get out of here? I feel like it got sucked in again. So you know that like when you go in this direction, it like cages you in. And so that's why I'm seeing you put so much energy into keeping this where it needs to be, rather than having it impact everything that you have going on. But it definitely feels like a flare up of some sort, like this coming up for you. But I'm seeing that you're actually working on, it seems like you're working on like mending this in some way, and you may be connecting with a part of yourself that feels the connection to whatever this is, and maybe going deeper and figuring out what's going on there. Like why this comes up for you. But it seems like you're going to be feeling your way through this. I'm also getting you too, you may feel like this is a new chapter for you emotionally when it comes to like it feels like self-control, but not in a bypassing type of way. This is more like I can be experiencing these waves really strongly, and that doesn't mean that I need to give into it. It means that I can stand within this and not have to give into it. That just because I'm feeling it, it doesn't mean that it has to happen, you know, or I have to do that thing. But this is definitely really difficult. I'm getting more than anything like on an emotional level, on an energetic, on an emotional level when it comes to your feelings. That's a big part of this. So that's also something that you've been working on too. And that may be part of what this is linked to also for you. Like for what the devil is, having it be connected with the King of Cups, that can mean that it's motivated by something emotionally for you that you're currently working on. You may also be, because this is feeling exhausting, you may be taking time to sort of recover from that as well. Having Strength and Four of Swords, that's like you're doing a lot of heavy lifting emotionally, energetically. So this is like keeping yourself calm and centered and grounded as much as you can, or you feel yourself getting away from that and like bringing yourself back energetically because of having to do all of this heavy like emotional work. Having Four of Swords here, it's important for you to make sure that you're recharging because it's depleting a lot of your energy currently. So that's what Strength and Four of Swords is about. Like, it may not be easy for you to take this time that you need for yourself, but it's very important, because I'm also seeing an opportunity, like an opportunity that's going to be waiting for you when you sort of like come out of this. There is a door, there is an opportunity, but I'm getting that you don't immediately have to make a decision about this. It's like you need to spend time replenishing your energy, and then once that's completed, then I'm seeing like the door be in front of you, and then you get to decide what you want to do about it. But I'm getting that there are like steps to this. Not all of this is happening simultaneously. It's like this is going to happen first, then this is going to happen, then this is going to happen, then that thing over there. So like once one thing is completed, then the next thing is going to come up and be connected. This looks like it's going to also give you information about your values and like what you're trying to do right now and how you're trying to show up. So this is an opportunity that sort of, it like brings those things to light where you'll be like, that's not resonating with me and what I'm trying to do, or this is. And so it's going to like clarify stuff that's associated with your values, but related to like how you're trying to live your life, like that type of stuff. In like a higher sense too, because we have the Hierophant here. So this is like your moral high ground in a way that this is connected with. That's being clarified by this thing popping up that you may feel like opposes that. So like in the opposition, it's clarifying for you. Again, this is something that you've continuously been working on. I'm not seeing this be like a new problem or like a new temptation popping up. This is something that you've like maybe habitually been working on. I also do feel at this point like you have this under control, but you may be getting like really strong like waves or impulses that are associated with this that can be making it feel a little bit like like an earthquake. But it seems very much like you have, like you're standing on solid ground with this. Feels like more of a reinforcement of what you have going on here. And I also feel like one of the most important parts about this, and like what's specifically being highlighted, is that even though you may feel like you have things under control, it's still draining your energy to work with this. And so you need to make sure that you are taking the time to recharge and replenish your energy. And then whatever this opportunity is that you may already be aware of, then you're going to decide what you want to do about that. But you don't need to do it until you feel like you're fully recharged. That's what I'm seeing. Also, too, the devil can be you feeling motivated by fear rather than you being motivated by like something bigger than that, you know, like something higher than that. But that's also why the Hierophant is here, because it's like, what are you putting your faith in? What are you putting your trust in as you move through this process? And it feels like it may not be the easiest thing for you to take a break or to recharge or do your self-care or maintenance or whatever this is, but that's actually what's needed here. So that's where strength comes into this. It's about you actively choosing to do that and you being willing to do that for yourself. So then you can show up as best as possible. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.